Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Good morning, everybody. Good morning to our friends on Facebook and soon to be on YouTube. We're coming to you live from Congregation Beth Yeshurun in Houston, Texas. And today is the beginning of our third year learning together every Thursday morning at 9:30, Rav Wolbe on Chumash. But today, starting our third year, we finished 2 years and now we're starting our third. To celebrate, we just pulled out the brand new Rav Wolbe on Chumash Part 2. So I'm really excited about this. Everyone has a copy here. I'm very excited about that. Okay, so this week's Parsha has something very, very interesting that we learn. And if you notice, the first couple of plagues that God plagues the Egyptians with, it's very interesting that the water, the frogs, and a few of the other plagues, God says to Moses, "Go tell Aaron to hit the water. Go tell Aaron to hit the earth." And the question is, why doesn't Moses do it himself? I mean, he was quite capable. He may not have been an outstanding orator, but he certainly was a great and capable person. So why didn't he do it himself? Why did God tell him, go have Aaron do it for you? So our sages teach us a very, very important message. And that is that if you benefit from something, if you benefit from somebody, don't hurt them. Right? Moses benefited from the water because he was saved by the water. Moses benefited from the earth because he buried the Egyptian in the earth. So he couldn't get himself to do something against something he's benefited from. And let's take that to how that can apply to us. How many times do we benefit by having a job? And we work by this employer for 10 years, and then for whatever reason we lose our job, and we don't have a positive thing to say about that. I mean, for 10 years you benefited. For 10 years you enjoyed going home every month with a paycheck, and you were able to feed your family. And now one thing went wrong, or there was a new owner, and they sold the company, and they decided that your division was going to be eliminated. So now you're angry, right? After 10 years you benefited, so you write bad reviews on blogs, and you benefited. You benefited. If you benefit from something, how can we go against something that we benefited from? It's not only whether it's a job, it's people who've helped you. Someone helps you find a job. Someone helps you with find a house. Someone helps you with a connection, with whatever it is. It doesn't. People think everything is dollars and cents. It's not dollars and cents. It's about having proper appreciation. And when we recognize that we benefited from someone. We benefited from someone else, how in the world can we go against that person? Think of a car, right? You drive a car, you have the same car, hopefully for many years, it drives you safely from place to place. And then when it gets old, we disrespect it, we disregard it, right? We mock it. Now again, it doesn't have feelings. It doesn't have emotions. It's not going to start crying. But we need to have that sensitivity. It's about us learning to be sensitive, right? It's almost like what we mentioned. We mentioned this in one of the other classes. Why do we cover the challah Friday night? Shabbos day.
Not be embarrassed.
Not to embarrass, right? So, right, now, we know that challah doesn't have emotions. And challah is not going to, we don't need to give it a tissue to wipe its tears away because you started with something else. But because we always benefit from challah, being the primary food that we begin our meals with, and now we're starting with something else, we have that sensitivity. It has nothing to do with the challah. It has everything to do with us. And the Torah is constantly teaching us sensitivity. The Torah is teaching us to have dignity for others. Not even humans, other items, other objects. There's a mitzvah in the Torah, bal tashchit. Don't destroy. Don't just waste. Right? You have a cup. You drink your coffee from a cup, right? So take it with dignity and throw it out, right? When you're done with it. But don't put it on the floor and smash it, or people tear it apart to pieces. You know, you see people while they're fidgeting with things and they're tearing. You just enjoyed that cup. How can you destroy it? So I want to share with you one other story, and then we'll sign off from our friends on Facebook. Rabbi, my mother once went to a shiva call, and it was at the home of a great sage, a great rabbi, Rabbi Mordechai Schwab. He was one of the Torah sages, Torah luminaries in Monsey, New York, where we lived. And the wife of Rabbi Schwab told my mother the following story: that when he had a pair of pants that were all worn out and that were old or torn, and it was time to dispose of them, so he would fold them nicely on his bed, as if they were brand new. He would fold them on his bed, and every day he would put his hands on those on the pants and say, "Thank you so much for dressing me. Thank you so much for keeping me warm. Thank you so much for making me look handsome. Thank you so much for taking such good care of me." And then he'd move it over another inch towards the end of the bed. And the next day again, showing his appreciation. "Thank you so much for clothing me. Thank you so much." And move it over another, right? And then finally get to the end of the bed, he'd fold it up nicely, put it in a bag, and dispose of it. Right? We think, what's the problem? Like, why do we need to do that? I don't have to do it. You're right, you don't have to. But at the level that he was at, he understood that this is my job, my obligation, to show proper appreciation. This is my job to show proper dignity to something that has been so loyal to me. Moses felt that same way about the water. Here's water that, okay, you say it's the laws of nature. You can give every excuse in the book not to be appreciative. If you don't want to appreciate, I can write the book for you. All right? You can write the book full of excuses. But if you want to appreciate, you can find every way in the world to show proper respect and proper dignity for everything that we benefit from. God saw that Moses wouldn't want to hit the water. He wouldn't want to hit the water. The water that saved me, I'm good. It's like they say, people with glass houses don't throw stones, right? Well, or from a well from which you drank, don't, right? That's true. But it's not only with people with glass houses. It's every single one of us. There are certain areas of our lives that we've benefited from someone else, right? We've benefited from something. Let's show due appreciation to everything, right? So, your rabbi who officiated at your wedding later on, 20 years later, did something and insulted your child, and you get into this feud. I don't want to talk to him. I rescind my membership, and I'm done. Relax, take it easy. Show appreciation. Look how much you benefited from the place. Look how much you benefited from the community, right? It's amazing how sometimes people in one instance, right, all appreciation's out the window, right? And sadly, sometimes it has to do in a marriage that's falling apart, and you see that the couple, it's as if they were arch enemies forever. It's like, it's been like, why? Why is that necessary, right? Okay, so you don't love each other anymore. You don't want to live under the same roof anymore. Okay, fine. So find a peaceful way to get out, right? But it has to become like a World War III. They're fighting and arguing and name calling and screaming, and it becomes vicious. And can you imagine this is someone that they actually went down the chuppah together with? It's like sometimes it's unfathomable. How did that ever happen? Hashem should bless us all that we should always notice the things that we benefit from and show the proper appreciation for everything that we enjoy. And that's the lesson we learned from Moshe in this week's Parsha. Have a magnificent week, everybody. Have a good Shabbos. Thank you for joining us. And if you like this video, please like it and share it on Facebook, and soon to be on YouTube in an hour or two. Have a great day, everybody.